Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today I'm going to attempt to take this 3.4 litre Jaguar from shabby to shiny. Now we are in a collaboration for this one. The theme is luxury cars, and there are another 5 videos stroke creators that are joining in this month. Every first of the month we all get together, decide a theme, and see what we can all do. So the other ones, so it's introducing a new creator to our little clan by the name of Paulie7218, and also Nick's Toy Garage, Time Riders Wee Little Cars, Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast, and Tony's Diecast Restos. Now what I'll do is I'll list their channels down in the description below. Please go and check them out and see what they come up with also. So as usual, we'll start by drilling down the centre of the post, removing the flange, or 2 in this case, on this car. And, normally I use my tap here, but I'm not going to lube or tap the holes today. I'm going to go in dry with just straight with a screw. Of course, using my very handy vise. I have added 2 screws here, and underneath you can now read Jaguar 3.4 litre, made in England by Lesney. I believe this is a late 50s casting, I think around 1959, so 60 years old. So we pop off the screws and see what we're working with, and that's it. Not a lot. We've got the main casting there, and then the base, obviously with the wheels in, I don't want to say terrible condition, but certainly rusty, crusty, bent, and it's going to take a little bit of persuasion to get that nice and straight again. Now the wheels are kind of, I guess, clamped on the ends, so I'll use my clamp and some various other tools to kind of unclamp that. So pop the wheels off. Main body here, nice bit of detail around the front with some kind of silver painted in, which will go back, but a nice colour blue also. So I'm just going to reach for my paints and pull out some of my Vallejo paints to try and colour match. So here is the blue, and then a little bit of white, and I went a little bit too light, so I added a little bit of black just to bring it back up again, and I'm happy. It's not perhaps 100% identical, but I'll tell you what, it is close enough for me. And in the comment section, many times I get asked, why do I use caustic soda? Why don't I use some kind of heavy duty paint stripper? So I thought, okay, now this is for professional use, and as a professional I feel okay to use this. I joke, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing really, but in this little pot here I put in just a small amount of paint stripper and left it for about half an hour. Now this is, as per the tin, very strong stuff. So whilst that's doing its magic, I turn my attention to try and crimp the ends of these axles using my vise. Basically just to try and flatten it off again. And then what I'm going to show you now is myself struggling to do just that. to be honest, there wasn't a huge amount of room for me to grip the end of that axle, you know, without obviously further damaging. And I've kind of perhaps been a little bit lazy because I have a better tool down in my shed, but I wanted to try and use what I had to hand in my little hobby room here. Here's a small pair of pliers. Ultimately, I just needed a bigger set of pliers. But between these smaller pliers and my tiny little vise, you know, I eventually did flatten it off enough for me to take it off. And as you can see there, I'm giving that a good old grip. I mean, I'm no weakling, so this is I was kind of almost a bit concerned that I might snap or break these little pliers in my hand. And you can kind of start to see now where this is starting to come off. You know, it's starting to kind of round off, and I'm getting somewhere. At the same time, of course, I'm trying to keep it in frame, in focus, so for where I'm sitting, I'm holding it at a bit of an awkward angle. So as I kind of start to get somewhere, I think, right, okay, you know, you guys know what I'm trying to achieve here. Let me just concentrate on getting these off now. You can see that's almost rounded off there. And probably not 5 minutes later, both of them are off. And this is the state of them. One is relatively straight, the other one very bent, and both certainly very rusty. But like I say, it's been about half an hour now, and I wanted to see what everybody goes on about with using paint stripper. Thinking, you know, what have I been kind of missing out on? And I thought, you know, I'll chuck in the base as well now. And it was here that I just thought, I'm not convinced the paint is coming off the body. So I'm just trying to reach for some kind of tweezers, really, just to pull out the body of the car. And I was hoping that the paint would just fall off, just slide off in one little sheet. It didn't slide off in one sheet. Even by me scraping this here, this paint is not budging with this paint stripper, and I paid a lot of money for it. Like I say, it was given, you know, a lot of people gave it kind of rave reviews, but seemingly Matchbox Cars doesn't work. That was a waste of money and a waste of my time. So let's go back to the good old Caustic Soda. Tried and tested. Works every time. 3 teaspoons on this. Normally I would have only have used 2, but because this has also got a base in there, I thought I'll add the third just in case. And how long has it been? 20-30 seconds, and most of the paint's already off. It really is as quick as that. And this, for all those that keep asking, that is why I use caustic soda. Little flush down the sink, and there is not a single speck of paint remaining. Now, of course, it's got this oxidization, but I use the side of this Dremel piece very lightly, and this is how it comes up. Good as new, looking brand new. So back to my paints. We use the Tamiya Fine Surface Primer in white for the main casting, and then I use this Tamiya Black TS14 for the base. So with the main casting here, I'll start by spraying on the inside of the car. And then making sure that I kind of get the wheel wells. And then with a single solid thick coat, cover the car up. Takes all of 30 seconds, and as you can see there in the light reflection, beautiful. Onto the base. And I kind of missed a few of the first little squirts around the corner, around the edges, but ultimately, again, within 30 seconds, no primer needed, and you can see there in the reflection, gorgeous. So I've now put the Vallejo. I feel a bit silly kind of actually pronouncing the name correctly. I think most people just call it Vallejo paints. I might just start calling it Vallejo paints. Everyone knows what I mean, even though it's perhaps the incorrect pronunciation. But this is it here, and it actually looks okay. It does go on nice and smooth, but it does dry in a satin matte finish, so I had to go over it with some clear later on. And this is now the following day, so all the paint is dry. I'm just going to turn my attention to the wheels and the axles now. The wheels get a simple warm soapy bath, but these axles, well, for the most part, one of them more so than the other, is probably the biggest difficulty in this restoration. And this is obviously a true restoration. This is not a custom. Most of my viewers are used to customs, but it's nice to do just a true, pure restoration every now and then. And if only my big dumb hand was not in the way, you could see that kind of working this axle, turning it around, trying to straighten it out using my very handy vise. Yeah, that was quite a nice little shot. You can see a nice little bend taken out of the axle there. Needed just a little bit more, but you know, you get the picture. Eventually, you'd never known that it would have been bent. Kind of went over it all with a little bit of sandpaper just to polish them up as well. On the ends and along the shafts, both of them nice and straight. Very happy with that. So we'll try and get them back onto the base now. Looking good, looking good. Now you'll hear a lot of creators mention that wheels have got a good side and they've got a bad side. Bearing in mind this is 60 years old. So when I put them on, I make sure obviously the cleaner side of the two is on the outside. And then I'm just going to crimp these axles. And as you can see, she rolls like a champ. So with that to one side, turn my attention now to the little details on the front. The grille, the main headlights and the fog lights all get a little bit of a coating with my silver paint pen, which appears to be, whilst doing a bit of googling, the standard kind of factory finish. And then I'm also going to do the front and rear bumper, which again is factory. So it's a little reminder of what she looked like. And the result. I hope you agree. This one turned out very nice. You know, it sat very awkwardly before, obviously due to that bent axle. It was almost a bit of a low rider, and actually I didn't really mind how it sat before, but now it sits at the correct height. You know, no detail around the back. Obviously if this was a custom, I would have painted in the rear lights, the rear number plate. I would have probably painted in the handle on the side, and then even on the front, probably with, you know, white instead of silver on the lights. Maybe even fabricated some kind of window section and interior. But like I say, this is a true restoration, so we'll keep to the factory fresh. But anyway, just want to thank my Patreons, and also introducing new Patreon, Milkshake, very cool name. But check out all those other channels, guys. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll stick around for the next one.